Welcome in, friends. It is a live edition of Dirty Air on Ultra Broadcasting on DirtyAirSports.com. Welcome in. My name is Rodney Rodriguez on a Wednesday. Glad to be with all of y'all as we are on the cusp of what is going to be a huge weekend coming up at South Alabama Speedway. You've got the 50th annual Hardee's Rattler 250. And that right there, one of the benchmark events when it comes to short track racing around the United States. That one right there is circled, and here we are, the middle part of March, getting set to go. This is the only time of year, and again, I live in Texas, where it's about to get very, very hot again, and we get in our summertime modes over here in Texas, lots of rattlesnakes. This is the only time that I have any excitement over any form of rattlesnake, and yet I still don't want to be anywhere near that thing, no matter what happens. However, if I won the 50th annual Hardee's Rattler 250, I may have a different opinion. Welcome in, everybody. This is a live program, so I do ask you that if you're checking in on the Facebook, on the YouTube chats, if you happen to be catching this on X, you can actually drop your messages right in there, and I will see them. And if I see them in time, I will try to respond to them and try to get you answers. I'll even pull them up on the screen here, and we can discuss your topics. I'd love to know your picks. Who wins the Hardee's Rattler 250? You've got I'll go over some of the entries coming up here in just a little bit. On the program, we will talk to shortly, and we're going to talk to the champions. We're going to talk to the people that are actively going to be a part of this weekend. Dodge Carlbert's going to join me here momentarily as he will join live. We'll get his thoughts on the sportsman division and just everything that is Rattler weekend. And then coming up a little bit later on in the program, probably towards the bottom of the hour, we will talk to Michael Atwell, who is the defending champion of the Hardee's Rattler 250. He drives the number 14 Davidson Electric machine. So we'll talk to Michael Atwell as well and get his thoughts as he comes in to defend his title and looks to go back in as a defending champion. And here we go. Our man, Ryan McCullough. Ryan, I just got your message just a little bit ago, by the way. Atop the scoring tower right there at South Alabama Speedway. So we are live, and you can be live as well. Again, drop those comments just like Ryan has done right there. But before we dive into the program, do want to talk a little bit about, before we talk about all the fun and everything that is going on this week, and just lots of action that you can catch on ultrabroadcasting.com and other places as well. Your short track live and on your streaming sources. I do want to mention we had just a terrible, unfortunate, sad incident happened this weekend out here in Texas, as a matter of fact, out at Kennedale Raceway Park, which is up in the northern parts of the state of Texas. Very unfortunate incident there. The loss of life there. Race official Billy Hart was injured in an accident that ultimately did take his life, along with another gentleman, Jerry Myers. And pardon me for looking there. Jerry Myers was also injured in that accident, stable condition at this point, but we did lose an official, and that's one of those situations to where this sport is just so great for all of us. We love all the different things that we get to do with this, but it's a very dangerous sport. And when you check into a pit gate or a lot of times when you buy a race ticket or whatever at a larger mainstream event, there's liabilities and so forth and clauses that are on these tickets and on these pit passes, and that's the reason why it's a it's a very dangerous sport. And when something goes wrong, this is unfortunately what happens. I guess the only fortunate thing about this when this does happen is it doesn't happen very often. It's a very rare occasion that this does happen. However, when it does, being the sport that we're involved with, short track racing, automobile racing, motorsports, we're a very tight-knit community. And when someone loses their life or is injured, in the duty and the responsibility that they are a part of, in this serving as these gentlemen were doing there in the event at Kennedale, we all hurt and we pray and we hope the best for them. And just a very unfortunate situation. We hope the best for the families, and at the same time, we hope the best for the racing series as they will continue moving forward. But it's going to be very tough for them coming off of that incident right there. So Billy Hurt, a loss of life there at Kennedale Raceway Park this past weekend in that incident. But on to other news. We'll think about that's something that will this will this will be on our minds and on our sorrows for a long time. But you did have the Sunshine State 200 over in Pensacola that was contested on Saturday afternoon there, the ASA Stars Tour. Carson Brown, the winner there, over Kyle Steckley. Cole Butcher, 1, 2, 3 in that one there at Pensacola. One of the big events there to get everything started over at Five Flags Speedway. Then you did have some action happening over at Mobile International Speedway as well. Dylan Courtney wins in the Outlaws. Grant Thompson, Rafe Slate wins in the Pro Late Model. So it was a doubleheader stacked event that was going on there between Pensacola and Five Flags Speedway. So good to have those racetracks off and going. But the conversation that we will be having throughout the duration of this program is going to be mainly focused on the Rattler 250, the 50th annual Rattler 250 happening over at South Alabama Speedway as we get set for all the action that's going on there. Next, we will dig into the conversation and we will talk to one of the gentlemen that will be in the middle of the fight when it comes to the sportsman. It is the defending champion of that UARA Sportsman division. That is our man, Dodge Carlbert, and he will join us when we are back. Clean air is good. Times like this, dirty air just a tad bit better. Stick around.
You've probably seen us all over the racing world and doing a lot of racing designs for events and race teams, but we also do a lot of stuff from small boutiques in small cities all the way up to Fortune 500 companies. Your brand deserves to be seen. We print on more than just shirts, hats, jackets, bags, and much, much more. Custom corporate branding starts here.
Welcome to the My Race Pass app, the #1 app for motorsports fans. We want to make sure you get the most out of your My Race Pass app experience. With your new free account, you can use the My Race Pass app to see race day information, including event entries and official lineups and results for over 600 organizations across North America. You can also see track information and purchase online event tickets for select tracks. With your free account, you can also search for a track or series on the My Race Pass app and favorite their profile to receive news and race day notifications on your mobile device. To see more information and to see which app subscription is best for you, be sure to visit getmrpapp.com. My Race Pass, the ultimate racing resource.
Why is branded apparel so important for your company? Well, because a shirt or even a hat that has your brand on it gets worn to grocery stores, baseball games, or even family reunions. The impressions are endless and they last years. Contact us today so we can help elevate your company.
Dirty Air live on your Wednesday. Rodney Rodriguez, ultrabroadcasting.com. Thank you for being a part of the program, taking your live comments as the program does roll on. Just a quick look at how you can consume all of that action. Of course, the easiest way is to become a subscriber to Ultra Broadcasting at ultrabroadcasting.com. Super easy to sign up and very affordable to sign up for your monthly subscription right there. With the action going on, there's cars on the track right now. There's practice that's happening, but on Thursday you will have local divisions that'll be on the racetrack, and you'll actually be able to catch that free of charge. So that's going to be the best bet of the weekend. You'll be able to catch that at ultrabroadcasting.com. I believe also on the Facebook page you will be able to see all of the action happening there on Thursday. Then on Friday, you'll have the Baby Rattler 125, as that will be at ultrabroadcasting.com. You can catch that action there with that subscription. And then on Saturday afternoon, I guess it's actually Saturday evening, you'll be able to dive in for the 50th annual Hardee's Rattler 250. All of that at ultrabroadcasting.com. Be sure and get a hold of that and get in on the action on what promises to be an amazing weekend. Speaking of amazing weekend, as I said, loaded guest list. We're talking to the folks that are going to be a part of this weekend. And right here, when we talk about the sportsman, this is going to be a dude that's going to be right up at the top of the heap right now. He's out and about right now. He's getting tuned up and tweaked up and ready to go. It's our man, Dodge Carlbert. How we doing, sir?
Oh, good, man. Just getting stuff done, trying to finish up the last finishing touches and get ready for this weekend.
So, Dodge, how is it when it comes to like a race like this? I mean, there's a lot of buildup to it. I mean, there's good money on the line, there's national points, there's everything on the line. But it's like, do you finally get to the point today where you're like, "Geez, let's finally get this thing going, man. Let's just start. Let's just start this thing."
Yeah, no more than last year. I think it was last year when our first race, or 2 years ago when our first race happened to be Rattler because we got rained out back to back. So uh, a little less of that this year. I think I'm just kind of ready to get there, get it done, and hopefully back to back it. And Rattler was one of my bucket list wins last year, and it hasn't left my list even though I got it. And I really want to get this 50th anniversary win. I think it would be really cool. And yeah, I mean, we're excited. We're almost ready. Just got to do some finishing things, and I just ready to race. Honestly, ready to get out of here tomorrow night.
I bet. So before we dive in a little deeper to the Rattler, didn't get to see you over at Chili Bowl, but let's kind of talk about everything up to this point, especially Chili Bowl. So kind of the differences right there, man. That's a special kind of crazy right there, my man. Kind of talk about that. That's sheesh.
Yeah.
That is something else, dude.
A rare instance where I would have traded a lot of my talent for a lot more luck because, we were really good. I only got to run a midget one other time. It was in Millbridge. And even though I was decent, I was still kind of getting my feet wet and learning. And, I ended up flipping, first night out, second night out in that car. So going to Chili Bowl, I got no practice on Chili Bowl Sunday due to motor issues. And then going into my heat race, I have you know, s- you know, s- uh, Bacon and four other national guys, and yeah, it was crazy. I mean, it was a whole lot of guessing going into our prelim night, but we did really good. I think going third in the heat race put us in a qualifier, and sadly our qualifier was just one lane, so I only made up one or two spots, but we had a really good car and then got wrecked in our transfer spot. But, and we know going back next year, we're going to be so much better, a lot more prepared. This was kind of even though we had so much time to prep, with all that time, you're still never fully ready. And, yeah, I think next year is going to be a lot better. But it was super cool experience, and the amount of people there that came up to me and just wanted to talk, and fans from all over the world that were coming over and looking at the car, and it was a really cool experience. I'm excited to get back to that kind of racing more this year.
How hard is that, Dodge? Because I know, like you guys, I mean, even with UARA, your practice time is limited. I mean, you don't have a lot of practice time where, like a lot of places, you can get out there and practice for 4 or 5 days. But they're in an event like that at the Chili Bowl. I mean, it's like shit, 4 laps. I mean, how is it to get any kind of information in that short of a time, knowing the track's going to change?
Well, that's where a lot of those bigger teams that have been racing for years have an advantage, right? They have the notes, they know what the track's going to do, and all that. So for us, it's really guessing, going off of
Mhm.
general setup knowledge, opening up the left rear shock, or whatever you think you need to do, depending on what the track looks like. And it's definitely insane. I mean, I think we changed the car in staging 4 times based off of what I could see on my phone, because we're watching flow on my phone
Yeah.
while I'm in staging inside the car, and I'm telling them I had in-car adjustments, so I'm making adjustments based off the track, and and it gets dangerous too. You'll out adjust yourself, and like
Yeah.
actually did one time, and lap 2 of the race, I was going back the opposite direction with my knobs. So, but yeah, no, I mean, it does kind of suck, like, especially for us. Like, I really needed those 2 practices. And I think if we would have had them, I could have been even better on our prelim night, because you get 2 practices, 5 laps each. Um, to not get those sucked, but shout out to Stort over there at Port City. You know, he was a World of Outlaws guy, and he, even though the track was hard as a rock, damn near asphalt, dry, slick, he let us go out there and burn a set of tires up to make sure the motor was running good. And we met some really good friends up there that, you know, I'm excited to work with more this year from Canada, and they helped us out a lot. So shout out to those guys for helping us get ready, because without them, I don't know if we would have made our prelim night, honestly.
No doubt. So, for you coming back to South Alabama, I mean, you mentioned it a while ago. You win the Rattler portion of the Sportsman last year. Now you're coming back, but not only that, you're the champion of the division. So, that for you, is that you and your team? I mean, you guys are just magnificent at what you do. I know you're not a guy that you're going to kind of let the pressure thing kind of sink in, but is it a little heavier on your shoulders a little bit right there, because you're coming in and it's a stacked field, dude, and you've got the target. The target is on you here as the man to beat coming into this.
Yeah, it's all noise. I don't look at it. I think the pressure was the first year that
Yeah.
we won the championship, and we finished second, the first Rattler, and that year we won our first championship. And I think last year was kind of like it was a little bit heavier trying to get the back to back, because nobody else had done it. Um, but now we're going into this year, and we missed the first race of the season, so we're not like, we're gonna try and points race, but we're not like, if we have one bad race that puts us out, then it is what it is. You know, like, we already missed one race due to Chili Bowl, so um, you know, we're trying to make it interesting and make a comeback. But if we don't, we don't. So going into Rattler, this year we're strictly looking to go win. You know, like,
Mhm.
we don't care about points as much this year as we did in the last 2 years. So we know there's a target. It's been there. We encourage people to aim at it and get after it. You know, we have a good
Love it.
time, and we're just ready to get back after it. I mean, our car has been really good at these bigger tracks, especially South Alabama. I think the last 2 years we've out qualified second place by over a tenth. So if we can just do that again, get a good precedent going in, and hopefully nobody plays these sandbagging games with the new rule, and we should be all right.
Yeah, absolutely. Dodge Carlbert joining me here on Dirty Air as we preview the Rattler 250 weekend, the 50th annual Hardy's Rattler 250s, South Alabama Speedway. So that list there, kind of looking at it right here, is there anybody, is there anybody that you single out right there that you kind of think, okay, well, you know that, I mean, I'm sure there's a few of them on there, but anyone in particular that you look at and it's like, oh man, you know, that's going to be something to deal with right there.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's a great class. There's some really great drivers, whether we get along or don't. I mean, truthfully, I mean, I don't think anybody in the sportsman class truly fully loves each other or likes each other, but we maintain friendships, and like, Adam Briggs should be good. My teammate Matthew LaPrade coming in on Boyd Tech,
Hmm.
he's learning, but um, he should be good. And especially with, all the help that, he's a very smart kid. He listens. I've been on the radio with him. He listens to, adjustments, me and Jason give him, and I think he'll be really good. So, Adam, Jason, C. Wright's been decent here recently, and, it's good to see him have some good top five finishes. Frazier has been good. I mean, Morris, a lot of those guys, man, they're all, really good cars at the end of the day. So it's never easy, but like I said, these bigger tracks, I just feel like we have some sort of advantage going. And um, I, I'm happy to get away from Arbondale for a weekend. I feel like I was there for 5 weeks straight, and get back to a track where we can race side by side and not kill each other on lap 5. So it'll be really nice.
It does seem like this division. I mean, the longer I'll be real honest with you, Dodge. I kind of waited as some of the changes were happening. I'm like, okay, at some point it's going to hit to where it's going to start falling back a little bit. Just kind of for years and years of that's the way that things work out. But it really does seem like you mentioned there, this division just continues to the affordability. Nothing's affordable, but the affordability here is a little bit better. You kind of talk about some of the different personalities and so forth. This division with UARA really does does seem to kind of keep thriving, doesn't it, man? I just love the direction that this thing is going. I love the cars. I mean, that's the biggest part. I just love the cars. I love the bodies, but it's definitely something that's blooming at the right time.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, there's not another series that can consistently 25 plus cars. I just wish they could pull more sponsors. I mean, not a problem, but it's because man, the series is so good down here. Anybody can win on any given night, and it's just good racing. It's good side by side hard racing, and it is get after it kind of deal. So
Yep.
it's great to be. The Sportsman is still my go-to car. It's like it's still my.
Yeah, that's all you can ask for right there. Little bit of audio right there, man. Just kind of lost you right at the end.
Oh,
There we go. No, you're good. You're good. That's perfect timing, though. Perfect timing, man. I appreciate you jumping on. Looking forward. I'll be checking it out on ultrabroadcasting.com. Not able to get over to you guys this year, but man, let's go for 2 in a row, dude. Why the hell not? Right? You're there. Might as well do it.
Yeah, we're gonna try for sure. We should be all right, and I appreciate you having again. Hello, there we go.
Yep, there
I
we go.
appreciate Ultra Broadcasting and you guys for having me on.
Absolutely, man. We'll see you soon. Good luck, and I'll check in with you afterwards, brother.
Sweet, thank you.
You bet. There he goes, Dodge Carlbert. That is the champion of the Sportsman division. Also, the defending winner, the defending champion of the Sportsman there at the Rattler 250, as we are in Rattler 250 mode right now. Again, local divisions tomorrow. You can catch that on ultrabroadcasting.com for free, and of course on the Facebook feed. And then as a paid subscriber, you can go to ultrabroadcasting.com. You get the Baby Rattler 125 on Friday, and then on Saturday evening it is the 50th annual. I just love that 50th annual Hardee's Rattler 250, paying $50,050.50. You see the 50? You see the 50 right there? It's all about the 50th. Coming up next, we continue Championship Wednesday right here on Dirty Air. We talk to the defending champion of the Rattler 250. It's Michael Atwell. He's coming up right here on Dirty Air. Stick around, friends. Lots more to come.
You've probably seen us all over the racing world and doing a lot of racing designs for events and race teams, but we also do a lot of stuff from small boutiques in small cities all the way up to Fortune 500 companies. Your brand deserves to be seen. We print on more than just shirts, hats, jackets, bags, and much, much more. Custom corporate branding starts here. Precision, consistency. Just like in racing, these are our values in screen printing, embroidery, and everything in between. If it's branded, we can do it.
All right, friends, we are previewing the 50th annual Rattler 250 coming up this weekend. You can catch it right here on ultrabroadcasting.com. Man, great field of drivers, not only in the super late models, but we'll go into more detail here just a little bit later on about everything happening there at South Alabama Speedway. And I'll tell you, if we want to go in and we want to get the best thought on what's going to be happening this weekend, let's talk to the man that is the defending champion, not only of the Rattler 250, but also of the UARA National Late Model Series, Super Late Model Series. It is our man, driver of the number 14A Davidson Electronics machine. It is Michael Atwell. How we doing, sir?
Good. How you doing? Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely, man. Thank you for taking the time. I know it's a busy time for all of you guys. Before we dive into what's coming up, let's kind of talk about you guys. You had the 142. Looked like a good run there for you guys. It ended up with some trouble there, but kind of break down the season so far, very early on at this point.
Yeah, I mean it's been good. Worked hard over the off season. Mike, Chris, all of us have put in a lot of time to trying to keep develop what we worked on ending last year, and thought we had a really good piece at Auburndale. We were really fast and in practice all weekend. Car was really stable and had some tire issues in qualifying, but we're able to correct those with air pressure adjustments and that kind of stuff. And as soon as the green flag dropped, it's basically just pick them off as they came to me, and we got to second there, and we are just riding. We are, I think, 35 or 40 laps into the race. There's no reason to push the car and burn the tires off it. So kind of riding there, and had a suspension failure, which resulted us in the wall. But definitely a lot of promise. Obviously, that was a stout field. A lot of guys that get around that place good, and I think we had a really good piece. I think we had a car like last year that we could have gone on to win with if things didn't happen.
Yeah, you mentioned that right there. Let's kind of talk about that part because, like I mentioned there, you not only win the Rattler last year, the 49th annual Hardee's Rattler 250, but also the national championship right there. And I love what Ricky does with UARA, the way that championship is decided. I think that's a very modern concept right there. That to me it just seems a lot more logical. But what you've gotten put together there with Chris Davidson and Mike Garvey, you mentioned those two guys. Kind of talk about that, man. You guys out of the box. I mean, you not only win Mobile, you win the Rattler. Just kind of talk about that. It's one hell of a team that you guys have put together.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. It's easy for us to work together. We all think alike, and we might have different ideas on what we think we should do to the car, but it's easy for us, all three of us, whether that be after practice or at the hotel room later that night, to all sit down, kind of break down our thoughts. And then a lot of the times, we think one person's got the idea that's going to fix it, and a lot of other times we're kind of meeting in the middle between three decisions. So definitely makes it easier. Mike understands the way that I speak to him and the way that we talk about what the car is doing very well. And a lot of the times when I tell him, something's going on with the car, he's already got the same idea as Chris, or same idea as I do, as to what we need to do to, try and fix that. So I'm super excited for this weekend, this weekend and this year, for what we've got coming, and the cars we're bringing to the racetrack. And I think there was some races last year that we should have added to the win column, and either just didn't work out or had some issues that shouldn't happen. So looking forward to it.
How important is that aspect of it, Michael? Because it's like in this day and age, you get drivers that come in and either one of two things: they don't know anything. I mean, that they can't tell anybody what they need. They can't decipher what they need, or they're directly told. But you guys, I mean, that's three championship guys right there, and you, Garvey, and Chris, that you get in there and that give and take. I mean, I think that's something that people need to look at what you guys are doing, and maybe it's that piece in the wheel right there that's making this 14A car so damn fast.
Yeah, I think having knowledge on anything that you're doing is a benefit, right? And none of us think that we know more than the other person. It's basically, it's a combined effort of, we want to win races. And nobody wants to be the guy on the team that is the guy that knows it all. So makes it easier for us when we're talking about things, because we're always open minded to what we're talking about, what we're thinking about. But very very relatable in the fact that a lot of the times, like you said, we've all won races. Mike's won a lot of championships. Chris has too. So when we go to tracks, even if it's tracks that I've been to a lot, um, they'll be like, "Hey, Michael, I think you might want to open your entry up here a little bit, but if you don't feel comfortable with that, what the car is doing, you do you. We know you can do it." So just little pieces like that, and whether or not I think that might help us or not, it's always good that we're thinking the same way, always trying to get better.
Absolutely. Michael Atwell joining me here on Dirty Air as we do our 50th annual Rattler 250, Hardee's Rattler 250 preview, defending champion of that race, defending champion of the UAR8 National Series. So, Michael, as we go diving into this race, South Alabama, man, just kind of talk about with that racetrack there. You get a lot of these racetracks out in the Florida area and Georgia and so forth. You get these big half miles that are just, they're a joy to drive. But South Alabama, that's one of those little, wouldn't really call it a bull ring because there's space to move around right there. But man, that's got to sit right there and drive your tail off on that little South Alabama speedway out there.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I love it. You got to get out there, and it's a driver's track. You got to get your elbows up. You got to get up on the wheel, and even when you're relaxing, you're still you still got to drive it. super fun place, and like qualifying runs and that kind of stuff. It's just get as much as you can possibly get. So, and the ownership there and everybody treats you the right way. I mean, John Dykes is a great guy, always does the right thing, always tries to help the racers. So makes it enjoyable to go support them, but also the track is a blast too.
Absolutely. You'll catch that race live if you can't make it out to South Alabama right here on ultrabroadcasting.com on Saturday afternoon. Let's talk tires. That's always when you get into a situation, a shorter track like that, you have to go in and you have to figure out how to work your tires, because UARA, again, very different from other series, to where it's not like, all right, the mall is open, come get whatever you need. It's a very allotted amount. Kind of talk about that goes into the strategy right there. You got to take care of those tires, those American Racer tires.
Yeah, I do think, like you said, on a point of entry, entry where you enter is how you pick your tires. So I do think maybe there's a little bit there. Obviously, you always want to be as fast as we can so that we can get the earlier choice. But I think Ricky and UARA do a great job of making sure they have enough tires. So the people that maybe it was a late entry, they didn't know if they could make it or something like that, aren't getting screwed out of getting a good set of tires. But it's always nice showing up to a racetrack knowing you're on, American racers, and knowing that that's what we're going to be racing on, because you can basically count on the fact that they're probably going to be pretty good, and we can race, 150 laps or so on them and not have to, worry about them melting down.
Yeah, absolutely. So the entry list for 2025, man, it is loaded, yourself included right there. Kind of talk a little bit about that. There's over 40 of the best that are there, and that's just in the super late models. It's a stacked field, man. You're going to have your work cut out for you this weekend. Kind of talk a little bit about that part.
Yeah, like I said earlier, I'm really, really excited for Ricky, for John, for UARA to be able to pull that many cars and the amount of good cars that are out there. On my thought process and on the team's thought process, it's just another race. We're showing up to try and win, do everything we do the same every other weekend. It might be a little bit longer than a normal race, but we got to execute. We got to make sure we make the right adjustments, and we got to be there at the end. So I don't look at it any differently. We're showing up there to win, but it's also good to know that if we do end up with that checkered flag, we beat a lot of really good drivers.
How cool for you. This is one of those races where we can look at short track races, and there's probably 4 or 5 that come to mind for me that I consider, well, I guess you can't consider 5 a crown jewel, because that's a little bit more than that. But this Rattler 250 is one of them. For you being the 49th name on that, how big is that for you? A short track race, you out of Naples, Florida, you're on a list of people that a lot of us can just dream about, man. And here you are with an opportunity to go back to back. How sweet is that?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I will say, I walked past the trophy when I was leaving my house. It's still sitting in the living room. Walked past it and just kind of smiled and grabbed my bag, and it is pretty cool. I don't think about it a ton on the fact of, like, you're with those other names, but it's really cool looking back at, the names that have won that race, the amount of people, that have showed up that aren't able to win that race, and being able to have my name on that trophy, and hopefully we can make it a second time, is it's pretty cool, with a great group of guys and a great team behind me.
So how are you with the snake? That was when I've been there. It's like they wanted me to take pictures with that damn thing. I'm like, I'm not going anywhere. If I won the race, it may be a little bit of a different story, but that's a imposing figure.
Yeah.
Right there.
I don't know that I don't know in normal day life that I ever want to see one near me. But after winning it, they could wrap as many of those things around me as they wanted to.
Yeah, absolutely. Defending champion right there of the Hardee's Rattler 250. You'll catch it right here on ultrabroadcasting.com. Michael, as always, thanks for the time. Best in your travels. Good luck, man. And hopefully we'll be celebrating 2 in a row for you and the guys coming up here in just a couple of days.
Appreciate it, man. Have a great day.
You got it, bud. Take care.
Bye.
Welcome to the My Race Pass app, the #1 app for motorsports fans. We want to make sure you get the most out of your My Race Pass app experience. With your new free account, you can use the My Race Pass app to see race day information, including event entries and official lineups and results for over 600 organizations across North America. You can also see track information and purchase online event tickets for select tracks. With your free account, you can also search for a track or series on the My Race Pass app and favorite their profile to receive news and race day notifications on your mobile device. To see more information and to see which app subscription is best for you, be sure to visit getmrpapp.com. My Race Pass, the ultimate racing resource.
Dirty Air as we preview the Rattler 250 coming up this weekend at South Alabama Speedway, again exclusively on ultrabroadcasting.com. Taking a look at that entry list. I was talking there to Michael Atwell about some of the names on that list. Let's take a look at the list as of this afternoon. I'm going to go through name by name right here and give this to you. I could pull up the graphic, but you know what? I just like saying the names. I don't get to go to the racetrack in person, so I want to say the names. The man we just talked about right there, the defending champion and the defending winner of the Hardee's Rattler 250, Michael Atwell, Nick Neri, Kendrick Cryer, Gabe Summers, Michael Goddard, Daniel Webster, Colin Allman, a name that you have to think about right there. Kind of sneaky guy right there. Keep that name in mind right there. Justin Mondyke had a really good run last weekend at Pensacola there in the 44 car. George Gorham Jr., who has really come into his own. George Gorham and his team doing some fantastic things. The veteran Steve Dorr, Brazen Bennett, Dave Farrington Jr., Michael Hind, and that swift-looking number 69. Russ Blakely, Kyle Crane, Bray Holmes, Dylan Fetcho, Weston Marthaler, Brandon Lopez, Timothy Watson, Cody Stickler, Stephen Nassy on the list right there. Stephen Nassy again. Let's check the qualifying. Watch that dude. I think he's just going to qualify in the back just to make the run, just to give us a show right there with Stephen Nassy. Dylan Bigley, Tristan McGee, Bryce Winemaster. You've got Corey Hall, Dustin Smith. What a run for Dustin Smith last week at Pensacola. That dude winning the pole there for the Sunshine State 200, leading the early parts of that race. Thought Dustin Smith might sneak up on him there and take that one. Had a little problem right there. The local hero, as I like to call him, but a hell of a run there for Dustin Smith. Oh, by the way, a guy that's won this thing 5 times. Ty Majeski entered, as well as Jake Finch. We talked about Jake Finch there, as he will be a part of this as well. Buddy Shepard, Casey Klein, Penn Sauter, Nick Noggle, Jesse Dutilli, Carson Brown. Carson Brown brings the magic that he's had over on the ASA tour. He'll look to try to duplicate some of that here in UARA action at South Alabama Speedway. TJ DeClaire, Bubba Pollard. I mean, come on, man. You can't have the Rattler 250. Those names right there, Majeski, Nassy, Bubba Pollard. You get those 3 guys right there, that's worth the price of admission. That's worth your subscription right there, just those 3 dudes alone, to ultrabroadcasting.com. Adam Briggs will be doing double duty. Hudson Halder, Harrison Halder, Jeff Storm, Spencer Davis. He will have something to say in this event. And Isaac Kitzmiller. That is your official entries as of about 12:40 this afternoon for the 50th annual Hardee's Rattler 250. So a loaded field right there of super late models that will get set to go. And you've got just over 20 as well in the pro late models. And again, a lot of those names that I'm talking about there, you'll see them in double duty. You've got Allman, you've got Dory, you've got Finch, you've got Michael Hind. Casey Roderick will be a part of that race as well. Jason Vale, who was a winner, I believe it was last week, he'll be in his pro late model there. Holt Halder, Chris Davidson. We were talking there to your defending winner, Michael Atwell. Well, you know what? The old boss man, Davidson Electric, he's going to put the helmet back on and jump behind the wheel of the 14 and get out there and run. So, I got to root on my man Davidson, as he'll be a part of that. And then in the Sportsman 75 for the Rattlers, Dodge Carlbert, who we were talking about right there, he went through a lot of these names: Joe Winchell, Adam Briggs, Dylan Bigley, Chris Turner, Sean Fitzgerald, Struble, Matthew LaPrade, who has been on the Texas program, a young talent right there, ever increasing the things that he's been able to do. So it's just a loaded list of drivers that are going to be at South Alabama Speedway this weekend for the Rattler 250 weekend. Weather looks good. And I got to tell you, I'm a big fan of a Saturday afternoon, Saturday night race. Kind of gives you the whole Sunday, kind of gives you the opportunity to get all your stuff together and get yourself back on the road. It is the Rattler 250 at South Alabama Speedway. Again, ultrabroadcasting.com is your exclusive home to find all of that action with the UARA all throughout the season. And it's a loaded weekend, all with all the Rattler 250 coverage that you're going to get right here on Ultra Broadcasting. And then on Sunday, you've got this Sign Shop 190 that'll be going green as well, as that will happen over at Southern National. So we've got your weekend covered from, you had Alan Dietz show last night. You had No Bull. You've got Dirty Air today. And then tomorrow we go into full-fledged mode. Just kind of keep your eyes peeled, reaching out to a couple of people, probably going to do some pop-ins, hopefully be able to do some live pop-ins and get you some more content here from back home on stuff that's going on there. That way, if for whatever reason you're not able to be at South Alabama, you're not able to see the coverage on Ultra, you can go to the Dirty Air Show Facebook page or the Ultra Facebook page and at least have an idea of what's going on. So all of that happening right here. One more look at what we are diving into for the weekend. There it is. $50,050.50 50 at South Alabama Speedway. That is what's on the line. And of course, the coveted photos with the rattlesnake. All of that. What more can you ask for? It is the perfect short track weekend. A huge thanks to the folks joining me on the program this afternoon. Dodge Carlbert, as he's in the shop getting ready to go, about to head on out there tomorrow, looking to defend his Rattler 250 win in the Sportsman. And then, of course, the defending champion, Michael Atwell, looking to go back-to-back and win the 50th annual Hardy's Rattler 250. Great content right here. Again, check in throughout the weekend, and we'll have you covered wall-to-wall with the Rattler. Friends, clean air is good. Times like this, dirty air just a tad bit better. Get that subscription today to ultrabroadcasting.com. We'll see you the next time we see you. My name is Rodney Rodriguez from deep in the heart of Texas. This has been the Dirty Air Racing Program. Friends, turn them loose, Doc. Let's go racing at South Alabama Speedway. Be well.